So for today's video, I want to look at Hudson shape fruit plates. These are made from 1908 to roughly about 1915. We'll begin by looking at the Hudson Assortment. I briefly mentioned this shape in the third video on the Fancy Embossed group. Hudson was very extensive. We see the basic assortment here. There would be multiple sizes of plates and platters and bakers and nappies. Well, the full listing we see on this page. And there are over 100 different pieces. What we're going to be concerned with are the plates. So up here, and again, these are in trade sizes. So I've already done a video on trade sizes. Essentially just add 2 inches to what you see here to get something close to the actual size. So we have the regular plates. These are the rim plates, 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch, and 8-inch. Then you have a deep plate. That's your deep soup plate. Then you have 2 coupe soups. And then you have these fruit plates. Now this was not a common item to have in dinnerware assortment, a fruit plate. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sizes. So the closest actual dimensions would be 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, and 10-inch. Now this is a Hudson dinner plate with treatment number H11. This was a rather common gold stamp design on Hudson. And I just wanted to show this so you could see a typical plate with its wide rim. Most dinnerware shapes of this time period had these wide rims, just like you see here. But the fruit plates are coupe shaped. There's no rim on them, but they have the regular Hudson embossing and scalloped edge. So these were meant as decorative plates, or plaques, or specialty pieces. These were not meant to be used in dinnerware sets. So if you find one, let's say like this one with the blended tint and the rose, and go, oh, I'd like to have a set of that, you're not going to find it. You're only going to find these special plates for or sometimes they're called cabinet plates. Some of these were giveaways. So we're going to look at a couple examples real quick. And in the back, we've got some 10-inch fruit plates. So we've got the 2 here with the Grape Decals, white grapes. The one on the left has a larger version than the one on the right, and we have luster trims. Now one thing about luster trims, those come around 1910, after Laughlin China. We haven't looked at any Laughlin China yet, but we will. And those have a lot of blended tints, similar to what you see on the ones here in the front. But those are replaced by these luster trims after Laughlin China goes away. And we see them here on these fruit plates, the 10-inch fruit plates. The next one has a blended luster trim. So we go from this blue to yellow, and we have the poppies decal on here. This one might have a date code. Let's see. It does. It is 19... Oh, hold on a second. Boy, it's hard to see. I think it's 1913. We'll look at a couple others and see if we can see some date codes. Sometimes those back stamps are hard to see. Another 10-inch plate with a rather odd decal on it. This would probably have been more appropriate on a smaller version, so it could have been full surface. But this has a wide maroon band around the edge with some gold stamping on it. Another 10-inch fruit plate, this time with peaches and blackberries. One thing about the edge, it looks like it's gold stipple, but that's actually a gold stamp. You see this on other dinnerwares, particularly the Angelus shape. Now I mentioned you won't see these on dinnerware shapes. This is an exception, this thorny rose decal. This was used on Hudson, it was used on Genesee, it was used on the Angelus. You can find it on other specialty pieces like the jugs, Ohio jugs, Virginia jugs. So we'll be looking at this decal a little bit later. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a 9-inch fruit plate, but it uses sprigs from the current treatment. That's from Laughlin China. And this was a promotional piece from a store in North Dakota. Another 9-inch plate with grapes decals. No date code. This one has a light luster trim with multiple sprigs. No date code. So if there's no date code, you're looking at something prior to 1912. So you're looking 1908 to 1912. I'm trying to find one to show you that has a date code on it, but so far no luck. Here we've got some souvenir plates. This one's from Mechanicville, New York, and this one's from Alma, Michigan. Nice gold stamping with decals. Another double luster trim. This is a 6-inch fruit plate. Oh, another one that's hard to read. Again, it's rather hard to make out that date code sometimes with that back stamp. This is an interesting one because it makes use of a decal that was used on the Angelus shape in the form of Royal Majolica. So I've got some Royal Majolica pieces on the website. I also did an article for the HLCCA, the dish, on Royal Majolica. But so it's a little unusual to find it on a Hudson fruit plate. We've got this double gold going on here. And then we see some calendar plates. And we'll start over here. This one's from 1910. Comes from Holland, Michigan. We see different scenes around the rim. There's a boat scene, a harvest scene, and a Christmas scene. And this one's from 1909. This one has Yost Dorman Company from California. This was a major distributor for Homer Laughlin during this time period, so I'm sure these were giveaways. Then there's the Showgirl decal, which we'll see that again on some other pieces of Laughlin Art China. This one's from 1909. And finally, 1911. Rather elaborate decal treatment with gold stamp border. So the last set of fruit shapes I want to look at are these ones with the blended tints, because these are mentioned as specialty pieces in the pound sterling book from 1908. We have different treatments listed here. So we look in the specialties section, and at the bottom it says rose. And it says rose decalcomania, that's just rose decal, blended tints, assorted colors on 7-inch fruit plates only. And that's what you have here. So we've got a pink tint, a blue one with a gold stamp from Michigan. And then we have this unusual yellow and orange blended tint with the rose on it. So yeah, these are all Hudson fruit plates. They are rather easy to find. Because they were specialty items and they weren't part of dinnerware sets, they weren't heavily used, so they're pretty much well preserved. Everything you see here is not crazed or discolored that you would normally find with regular dinnerware. In fact, you're going to find Hudson fruit plates that are going to be easier to find than regular dinner plates, because simply for the fact they weren't used. So I think that's going to be it. Hudson fruit plates.